Okay, Year 10, there's a question on Google Classroom that goes like this. Well, it doesn't go like this. It is this question. And I want to go through it with you. So first of all, and this is going to be this is very similar to the one that is on the assignment. So Jack sells coffee from a van in the main street. He rents a van for $80 a day, and the cost of making one cup of coffee is 50 cents. Write an equation for the cost, C, of making N cups of coffee. Well, C equals, well, he's got to pay for the van per day. So it's 80 bucks. And this is per day. And 50 cents. So 0.5 times number of cups of coffee, N. Oh, so C, you could write a half if you wanted to. A half N plus 80. You can use 0.5, you can use a half, it doesn't matter. Now, he sells the cups of coffee, all right, for $3.50. So the income equals 3.5. I think I will keep it as a decimal. It's all going to be decimals. 0.5 N. 3.5 times the number of cups of coffee. So that's how much it costs, and this is how much income. Beautiful. So graph both the linear equations and find the number of cups of coffee Jack needs to break even. That is such an important point. The break even point comes up a lot in standard maths, and I want you to be ready to do this next year. So if you have graph paper, I'd strongly recommend using graph paper. But here we go. So the first thing I need an axis. So I'm going to set my axes up there, and I'll just get rid of that. Okay. So here I'm going to put the dollars. I'm going to put how much money, income, and costs. I'm going to graph the I and the costs on this vertical axis. So I'm just going to put a dollar sign to represent the amount of money. On this axis, I'm going to represent by the number of cups of coffee. Okay? Now, I'm going to need, I think, a lot of cups of coffee to break even. So I'm going to draw this one first, the C equals, so I'm going to have the number of cups of coffee and the cost. All right, so if I have 0 cups of coffee, it costs $80. Now, I'm going to go up in tens. If I make 10 cups of coffee, and I use my calculator, and I go 0.5 times 10 plus 80. It's going to cost me $85. Let's go even bigger. Let's make it 100. Imagine if you make 100 cups of coffee. Well, use my calculator again. 0.5 times 100 plus 80. 130, it's going to cost $130. So now I can plot that, and I'm going to do that in red. So I'm going to go up in this axis because I reckon I'll need a lot of money here. So I'll go up in 20s. Will I go up in 20s? I'll go up in 10s. 10. Well, no, because I won't even get near there because I'm going to need to get up to at least 100 before I start making money. So I'll go up in 20s. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. That should be enough. Now along the bottom here, again, I'm just going to go up in tenths. Make 10 cups of coffee, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And look at that. I haven't even got enough here. So I'm going to put another one in here. I'm going to go 50 cups of coffee. I'll go to my calculator and put that in so I can get it on here. 0.5 times 50 plus 80. That's 105. And now I'm going to plot them. So, and I'm going to do this one. What colour will I do it in? Let's go green. The costs are green. So I've got 0 and 80. There it is. I've got 10 and 85. That's really hard to plot. Be about there. And I've got 50 and 105. So what's that? It's about there. So this is not very accurate. It's very hard to get very accurate. And I'm going to join that line. And there it is. So they're my costs. And that's the costs equals 0.5 times the number of cups of coffee. I don't need that multiplication sign in there. Let's make it actually a whole lot neater. C equals 0.5 N plus 80. Well, let's do my income. We'll do it in blue. How much money do I make? So I have here the number of cups of coffee and my income. Well, if I make no cups of coffee, I get no income. Well, let's do a nice easy one. Let's do 10. If I make 10 cups of coffee and I go to my calculator and I go 3.5 times 10, I make $35. Let's go one more. Well, let's go with the 50. And if I make 50 cups of coffee, 3.5 times 50, 175. Well, I know that I've broken even by then, but let's just plot them. So 0, 0, that's down there. 10 and 35, well, that's about there. It's hard to judge. 50 and 105. 50 and 175. Well, that's way up about there. And now I'll join them. And as you can see, my graph's not 100%. Now, this is a critical point. Oh, hold on, I'll write that. My income equals 3.5 N. And this is the critical point. This point here, we call it the break even point. Now, because I've done this on a graph and because I haven't had a grid paper and because it's not 100% accurate, it's going to be very hard to judge where it crosses. So how many cups of coffee? If I'm going down here, I'm getting pretty close, somewhere around 30. So to break even, Jack needs to make 30 cups of coffee. Now, you can find out if that actually rings true by putting 30 in both equations and seeing if you get the same number. So imagine if I put 30 in here now. Oh, what was it? 0.5. So go to your calculator. 0.5 times 30 plus 80. 95 bucks. Let's put 30 in here. Oh, 3.5. Sorry. Go to my calculator. 3.5 times 30. and 5. So I'm wrong. I'm close, but I'm wrong. It's possibly, if I did it, a little less than 30. So maybe, but if you did that if you did it on grid paper, you'd be much closer. Maybe it's about 28. About. Now you could, if you're really good, use algebra. So what should I use algebra? I want my income, to equal my costs. My income is 3.5n equals, and my cost is 0.5n plus 80. So I'm going to minus 0.5n from both sides. So that'll give me 3n equals 80. And then I'm going to divide by 3. 80 divided by 3. I'm going to go to my calculator. 80 divided by 3. 26.6 repeater cups. So 26.6 cups, which means approximately 27. So we weren't far off. We weren't 100% right. So 27 cups of coffee and Jack will break even. And that's what that question's about. And if you can do that, you should be all right.